Okay, hello everybody. I'm so glad and so happy to have this opportunity today on a full moon day to share a very good news with my great friend and conference organizer, Ray Merriman. So Ray, hi, how are you?
Hello, Alexander, and hello, everybody. Welcome to this presentation on the ISAR 2021 conference schedule, date, location. We got a big announcement to make on that at the end of the presentation on the September 12th, 13th virtual connection.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
actually so great that we are having two events instead of one. We supposedly, should be now in Denver. I think it was planned to start like next week, but we, as you know, we had to postpone the whole event, and now we have two events. So we'll have one which is online, and then the next year we'll have even much bigger in live event. And I think it's all very good because I believe we are in very special times, and these times are really way different than any others. They are so different that when we talk about like reimagining the future, I think we should make one step first and understand the time where we are. And you see, this year actually just started with a very special conjunction that we had. It was Saturn-Pluto conjunction. It's not something that's happening like regularly. Maybe you can say, yeah, it happens like every 36 years or so, but in Capricorn, not that often. And not only that, it was a really big conjunction. It really shapes our time differently, and it puts us in some much deeper collective memory, I would say. Why? One important thing I would like us to understand that actually it was, that conjunction Saturn-Pluto just happened on a Pluto's south node. It's very close to it. It was, Pluto's south node is 20 degree of Capricorn. And not only that, there was a Saturn's, node, Saturn's south node. It's a 23. It's so deep. You see, it's not only Saturn Pluto, it's very, very deep. And all that, took us somewhere, in some past. Basically, this year is all about going into something that we had like a similar event, like a 700 years ago, when we had this kind of conjunction, Saturn Pluto. It was 1284 actually. And you know what? I mean, we need first to start reimagining the past, because past is something that is actually where we are now, where people cannot travel that easily, where people live in their like a cities, states, they cannot travel that much. So this kind of energy just happened like 5, 6, 700 years ago. People couldn't travel, so energetically we are there. So this is kind of a feeling and where we are and what is happening to us and all that. So but we are basically on the edge, like we need to go to the past first, and then we are going to this Jupiter Saturn conjunction. This is something really new, and this is why we call it, it's a 0 degree Aquarius. It's something really new, and then we start to reimagine the future. So these two things, past and the future, are like one part of one, and changing past we change the future. Both things goes, and past is very changeable. That's a reality. That's something that is actually happening in us right now. So I'm very happy and very proud to actually introduce all these very great people that we will have in this virtual conjunction event that we are having in like 10 days from now. It's going to happen on Saturday, September 12th. We'll have a 1 day, like a 4 hours, 4.5 hours webinar. Like there will be one link with the 9 speakers on it. So there will be, each of them we'll speak like about 25 minutes about different topics, about how do we reimagine the future? How do we see that? What do we think is going to happen in the next, few years and some time which is in front of us, because it is really the edge. It's very important for us. And I just want to show you like who the speakers are and how the schedule looks like. So basically, we'll start on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be there. We'll start like with the whole event, and then we'll have a 9 speakers. So I'll be the first one, but I will MC everybody, and we'll go with all other speakers. So my topic is going to be more about like how do I see the transition that is happening? What is the role of astrology in all of that? Because I think it is very important role that we all have. After me, there will be Wendy Stacy. She'll be having a little different. So there will be like a 25 minutes lecture with just 5 minutes break in between. So it will be very dynamic, very like I would say direct and practical for these 25 minutes. You just get like the core message, but it is great, especially when you get that from speakers like Wendy Stacy, or who is a really great speaker from London. And after that, we'll have a Michael Lutin that I hope everybody knows from New York. Then another Frank Clifford, again from England. And all these great speakers will share something unique. So you see, we have one future that we need to reimagine, and there will be like 9 speakers, 9 different approaches, but talking about the same thing. And I think using all these 9 approaches, we'll get pretty good feeling of where we are going and how does it look like. We'll have as you can see, we'll have a short break for like 15-20 minutes long. And then we continue another part from 3 p.m. There will be Chris Brennan and Lisa Schein. They'll do a joint lecture. It's very interesting, very special kind of a lectional chart for the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. So I'm quite sure it's going to be a great and very surprising lecture. Then we have Omari Martin. And again, this is another lecture about Jupiter-Saturn. So you can guess there will be very much emphasis on Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. It's not the only thing that is happening, but this one is definitely the biggest and the most important event of all. Georgia Statis will tell us about the some extremes. So that's a very definitely is going to be something very special and extreme from Georgia we are getting, and we'll close the event with Stevens Forrest lecture. So his topic is figuring out which mountain to climb. Well, I think it's going to be exciting. It will be like time for us to understand where we are going in our personal lives, in our spiritual evolution, in our mundane general lives, like when we go like a collective. And there will be rooms for everybody to think about it, and probably later on maybe even to
Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
more discuss about all that, about everything later on. So I'm very excited that we have these 2 events. So this is the first event that we are going to have, and September 12th, it's a day when Moon is going to be in Cancer. So it's more for like, what is in us, what is going to happen to everybody, or in our, inner part. But the other day, when we come to Sunday, Moon is going to be in Leo, And that's the day for the presidents. That's the day who is gonna win and how we actually do that. So we wanted to have these 2 days, 2 special days dedicated to these two very important topics to us. And about the other day, like Sunday, Ray will tell us more because Ray's basically the person who will MC the whole event. And Ray, can you tell us about the Sunday and everything about it?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, great. Well, Alexander mentioned the importance of Jupiter and Saturn coming together in Aquarius, which hasn't, that air sign element hasn't really fully gotten underway until this year. I mean, we had a preview of it in 1980, 81, but it's been 800 years since we really fully got underway in the Earth element. So it's a very, very big election. In fact, some people think this is the most important election of our lifetime in the United States. And some people even think it's, Donald Trump might think it's the most important election in world history. And I think many people might agree with that, at least in modern times. But the point I want to make is that Jupiter-Saturn is a 20-year cycle. And every 20 years, when it coincides with the US election, something strange has happened during the election or during the president's term of office. And we're going to discuss that in many, many other things. You're going to hear election studies. Studies that are actually been done on the USA election by Dr. Lee Lehman, who's one of the most brilliant researchers, as many of you know, in our field. So she's going to share the studies that she's done on past elections and show what's in common with the 2020 election. And that'll be very exciting for me because, as you know, I'm very database, and I know many of you listening right now are also interested in quantitative studies, and she's going to share that. In addition to Lee Lehman, we have Lynn Bell, one of the world's foremost popular professional astrologers. She's going to be making a presentation on mundane astrology, focusing on this election and the individual charts of the candidates. For instance, she's going to be looking at the solar return, especially of Donald Trump. It's very revealing what to expect from Donald Trump during this election. We also have Carolyn Casey as part of this presentation. Carolyn Casey is a Washington, D.C. based astrologer. She has her own radio show there. She's very involved in the Washington national politics. So it's going to be very interesting to see what she, as a well-known astrologer, professional astrologer, sees as she combines it with her experience and her location on site there in Washington, D.C. We also have Christine Skinner. Now you might remember Christine Skinner made the very unusual forecast in the 2016 election presentation that we had at ISAR. She stated that Hillary Clinton would win the election, but would not be inaugurated.
Wow.
That was quite a stunning forecast to have made because essentially that's what happened.
Exactly. Wow.
So we'll be discussing the charts of the candidates, the vice presidential candidates. We'll look at the day of the election, when it starts, when it ends. We'll be looking at the day of the inauguration. Christine Skinner will go over what's happening between the day of the election and inauguration, just like she did in 2016. We'll look at all the transits and progressions of the candidates. We'll look at the different charts relate to the voting public, such as their synastry with the United States. And after we share our insights, then you will see what factors we think are important, and you'll make up your own mind. Who deserves your vote in this election and how you think it might come out. We're not going to make an actual prediction. We're going to give you the tools and the insights of the tools that we see are important, and you'll make up your own mind. So we're going to reveal the choices, but you're going to make the choices.
That's great, actually. No, it's part of reimagine the future, We can reimagine the future.
It's going to be a brand new future with Jupiter and Saturn going into the air signs now. For the first time in 800 years, we're going to start a series of 7 of them in air signs. So it's a fantastic event we have planned on September 12th and 13th. Alexander, what you've got going on Saturday with those 9 great astrologers that you introduced, combined with the 5 presentations that we're going to make and opening up for discussion with one another, it's going to be an incredible day, and you won't want to miss it. This is a conference not to be missed.
Yeah, I really agree that that's really something unique. It's very great. You will have a recording of it. That's really something that I think all the good insights, the core of all the questions that we may ask now, who is going to win, or like how can I just think about it, or like have some ideas. But I'm pretty sure that after your panel, Ray, we all will have some, ideas in which direction the energy, goes. So it's like very, that's something that it's very useful for everybody.
Well, if you're an astrologer, it's not just a matter of predicting or forecasting the result. As a real professional astrologer, you want to know what kind of thinking, what kind of tools, what kind of correlations, what kind of studies, what kind of analysis and insights do you see with these astrological factors? This is actually going to be a very high-powered, high-caliber astrological class, as well as a discussion, as well as fun and exciting to see what we're looking at as professional mundane astrologers.
No doubt, Ray. We have that kind of astrologers with us. It's, worth being there. I have no doubt about it. So.
It's going to be large. I think we already have about 700 people. That's as of last week who have signed up. I think we're going to have over 1,000 people in all on these 2 days of presentations on this mini conference, if you will, this virtual conjunction conference. Very unique, very unusual. It's something you won't want to miss, and it's the prelude to what you're going to see and going to experience when we all get together again in August of 2021. And Alexander, why don't you lead us into that now? Because this is the exciting news. ISAR's coming back.
ISAR's coming back. Actually, we just signed the contract, and the hotel that we previously chose, the Westminster, is with us. So we'll have it there, and this is the chart actually of the opening. August 18th, 7:20 p.m. Just look at that chart. Like, I really like it. Ray just did the election, and I think it's really great. Like, we have Aquarius rising with the Jupiter in the first house. Jupiter is the ruler of the 10th and 11th, which is very important for us. And when I saw this moon in Capricorn, making this trine with Uranus and trine with Mercury, Mars in 7, that great Earth trine, I'd say, wow, this is the picture of the mountains. You see many people there. It's like that area, like moon in Capricorn. I love it.
We're going to the mountains.
Yep.
With the spectacular Rocky Mountains, the most impressive mountain chain in our country, the United States. And not only do you have the Earth sign grand trine, you got an air sign grand trine too, with Venus, Saturn, and the North Node right on the nadir. So we planned this time. We planned this time to get these 2 grand trines in effect, and to end the conference with the full moon. As the sun sets, the full moon will be rising with Jupiter. It's going to be a spectacular celestial phenomenon.
Definitely great. Wow, yeah. I love it already. So this time we are going to make it. So this is something you can see. I mean, this is the chart you can see. It's alive already with all that. So guys, that's a great news, Ray. And I'm very proud of the whole team of ISAR and of you, who is our conference director, who actually, organized all that. Like, we did so much researching different options, different hotels, and I think now we are really good. And everybody will have a great like effects and the everything related to that. What these guys in hotels are offering us, I think it's going to be also even
Yep.
better than it was the first time originally in September. Is it? I think it is.
I think so too. You know, the last one we had scheduled was going to begin with Mars retrograde, which is a little bit problematic. However, at the same time, you had Jupiter changing direction. And if you look back from the summer 2000 through basically November 2020, I'm sorry, the summer 2020 through November 2020, you know, we couldn't find a perfect period to have this conference. That was the 1 week, about September 9th through the 17th, that really stood out as having like a small window of time for us to meet. And as it turns out, we're not meeting physically. We're going to meet virtually with the first part of it, and that's going to be the step forward to when we really can meet together without the distractions of travel bans and pandemics. We're going to have a great party, a great experience, a great education, a great reunion, and a great opportunity to meet new friends, new colleagues from all over the world. 40% of the people who signed up are from overseas. It's going to be incredible. You don't want to miss it.
Great, great, great. So if anybody has any question regarding that, please feel free to, you know, write in your chat box. So, but just as Ray said, I think somehow it's even better next year, like astrologically speaking, because, you know, anyway, we all know how risky this year was with all these, you know, things, and like we had like even Venus and Mars are retrograde in the same year, and
yeah,
you know, that's very kind of challenging somehow, but
you know, I'd like to also give a little acknowledgement here to some of the people who've been working on the conference committee to make this all happen. People like Kathy Rose in Virginia Beach, Virginia, who's very instrumental in helping us move forward with our negotiations with the hotel. Kat Powell, who put together these beautiful images and is working with Bojan on your team there, Alexander, putting together the website, the new website. Linda Lehman, who's helped us greatly in developing the schedule and the speakers' assignments for the conference. Sam Reynolds, Alexis Duong, very instrumental and Demetrius Bagley, very instrumental and helpful in the marketing of this through social media. Tara All, you know, who's just joined the board, is fantastic with the marketing. So it's really been a team effort, and we're looking forward to getting together with 100 of the top astrologers in the world, plus 20 new people we're going to bring in for the lunch, the speaking during the breaks in between the sessions from all over the world. It's going to be quite an international, worldly event for all of us to be together again. And I, for one, am really looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's what really ISAR is, actually. ISAR is truly dedicated to have all these people from everywhere. Like, we are one big family of astrology. We all speak the same language. So there was one question we just got. So there was question, will the sessions be recorded? Sure, yeah, they will be recorded, so don't worry about it. If you can be there, we will send you the recording, so you'll have that.
Is that question pertain to the recordings were taken on September 12th and 13th, which indeed we are recording, or does it refer to the fact that if you sign up for the main conference in 2021 in Westminster, you will get all the main conference recordings, whether you're there or not. If you signed up for it, you will get the recordings at no extra cost.
Free. That means they are part, you know, of your deal. So you have them. You will have a special page, like you know, your own page, personal page, so to say, conference page, where you go, you log in, and all the recordings plus the handouts, all that we have, they will be there for you, and they will be yours forever. And this is the idea, like a new standard. So on that page, you'll be able to actually collect all the future conferences that are coming. So that's our project for next year. Actually, it was even project for this year, but you know, since we don't
Well,
have a conference.
that's a new feature that you put into the organizational conference, Alexander, and I just want to acknowledge, you know, that
Yeah,
was a brilliant move that you did because that is something new and innovative that is very attractive to anybody going to a conference to be able to get all the recordings at no extra cost.
yeah, guys, we are all part of one thing. So sometimes it comes through me, sometimes someone else, but it's all good. It's a good time, so I would say. Anyway, so we have another question. So the question was, should we start making hotel reservations now? Ray, what do you think? Should they start like already? We just signed the contract for next
I
year.
I think you should wait till the website, or is the website yet? It's almost completed, but if it's not completed, it's going to be shortly.
Okay, yeah, it will be there. So just maybe I would say probably wait a few more weeks or something, probably even less, and then yeah, you go there. You go there directly, and you know there is no problem with the rooms at this moment.
Right. You can
So
sign up for the conference now on the website. I, you know what? I would say by next week, I will definitely be in touch with the hotel there and make sure that they're set to take the reservations. We signed the contract. It's ready to go. They just need to know to turn the button on, turn the light on. We'll get that immediately. Good.
good, perfect. Okay,
All
Ray,
right.
we don't have more questions. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here with us and looking forward to see you in 10 days. This is really unique event. You just saw who we have and the topics, and yes, let's see each other together soon.
Okay. Thank you, Alexander, for letting this happen. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Bye bye, everyone.